For the first time in the history of the Drought Monitor, some parts of Ohio are experiencing exceptional drought conditions. In fact, nearly 20% of the state is considered to be having an extreme drought as September begins. For Ohio Farm Bureau member Kevin Teeters, the magnitude of the dry conditions are indeed historic.
Probably the worst that I can remember since back in 97, 98 area. 2012 was dry, but it was nothing like what it is now. All of our springs is drying up, and our little tributaries that run from the little hollows and stuff are really getting dry, and no chance of rain really that's going to bring that back.
The signs of drought conditions started several months ago for Teeters, who has a grain, cattle, and butcher beef operation in Vinton County.
It was really in the late spring. You get 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain, and then within 2 or 3 days, the little creeks was right to nothing. We planted and was done by second week of May. And that's usually unheard of in our area. We're usually dragging through into Memorial Day weekend trying to get finished up because of wet areas or just frequent rainstorms not letting things dry back out.
As the conditions began to deteriorate, Teeters began planning for the worst.
We usually keep corn back in the grain bin, usually maybe sell it in July, just for a little extra cash flow. For fertilizer and stuff, and we decided in about mid-June to just keep the bin back to feed and buy it out and try that from there. And I'm really glad we have, because if not, we would be going to the feed mill to get corn right now.
The option of selling off some cattle has also been a topic of conversation between he and his business partners, but so far they haven't had to take that drastic of a measure.
But if hay numbers dwindle real fast, we could have to do that in the winter, no matter what the price is, and we really don't want to have to do that.
Feeding hay meant for the winter months is something many farmers have already been forced to do, as moisture eludes southeastern Ohio farms.
Normally, we have pasture here that lasts till October, end of 1st of November, and then we start setting a bale out, but they would munch on grass and then come back and supplement some hay. Well, now I set 2 out this morning and they are a quarter of the way gone.
Also gone is the farm's water supply, meaning Teeters has to truck in water to keep his livestock healthy and productive.
It's about $0.01 a gallon, which people's like, oh, that's not much. Well, it's not, but you're doing 400 gallons at a trip. That's $4. You do that for 40, 50 days, that gets into the bottom line.
Ohio Farm Bureau is working with government agencies to ensure that farmers impacted by the drought will have access to resources needed to sustain their farms through the challenges Mother Nature has dealt. And Teeters hopes they come sooner than later.
Well, it's a relief, whenever you can get some kind of help just to get your money back that you've got out extra. We're not here to take everything that they'll give, but we'll take something to help in return. It's a natural disaster, basically, of what it is, and it's nobody's fault, but it happens.
Farmers are encouraged to call their local FSA office to start the conversation about what they're seeing on their farms and to discuss what disaster relief programs may be available to them. Before the lack of rain this year, Teeters was hoping to expand the operation. Those plans have dried up, along with his pastures, at least for the short term.
Well, a year like this could set you back 4 to 5 years pretty easy. Plus the revenue we're losing with having to spend more for feed. Plus, we would like to expand more fence to more acres that we have, but the water's not there. And if you don't find a good enough spring, whenever it's this dry to tap into, you're not going to find anything any other time most of the time.
In Vinton County, I'm Ty Higgins for the Ohio Farm Bureau. We'll see you down the road.